game over? No, no. This isn't just game over. This is the grand finale, the final act, the moment they realize you were never playing by their rules to begin with. You let them shuffle the deck, deal the hands, stack the odds against you, thinking they had the upper hand. And oh, how they laughed, how they smirked, sneered, whispered in dark corners about how predictable you were, how easy. But they never noticed, did they? Never caught on that while they were busy grinning, sipping their cheap champagne, savoring their premature victory. You were waiting, holding on to that final card with the patience of a predator watching prey dance into its own grave. And now? Now it's time to flip it over. The last move, the checkmate, the end of their little illusion. See, they wanted a game, a contest of cunning, a match of wits, but they forgot one tiny little thing. You don't play games, you end them. And the real joke? They were never players. They were pieces, pawns, puppets in a performance scripted by their own arrogance. They built a stage, thinking they were the stars, but forgot who was sitting in the director's chair. You let them believe they were in control, let them dance, let them monologue, let them think they had outmaneuvered you. But every word they spoke, you wrote it. Every step they took, you placed it. And every move they made, you allowed it. Ah, but they thought they were so clever. The way they schemed in hushed voices, crafted their little plots behind closed doors, convinced they were 2 steps ahead, oblivious to the fact that you had already walked the entire board and back. Every betrayal, every sabotage, every moment they thought they had you cornered, it was never a trap for you. It was their tomb being built, brick by brick, with their own hands. And the best part? You didn't even have to stop them. No, you let them dig deeper, let them bury themselves so far into their own delusions that by the time they realized the walls were closing in, well, there was no way out. See, that's the beauty of people like them. They think deception is power. They think manipulation makes them untouchable. But the thing about liars, they forget that lies are fragile, like glass. And when they shatter, oh, the edges are sharp. And who's left bleeding? Not you. Oh no, not you. They are. They always are. And here you stand, watching their empire of dishonesty collapse into dust as they scramble to hold the pieces together. But it's too late, isn't it? Too late to backtrack. Too late to shift the blame. Too late to rewrite the ending. Because the ending, you already wrote it. And it's a tragedy for them, a masterpiece for you. But wait, maybe, just maybe, they think they still have a chance. That there's a last-minute salvation, a secret escape route. Oh, how adorable. Let them believe it. Let them squirm. Let them scramble. Let them grasp at whatever straws they think will save them. But here's the cruelest truth of all. There is no salvation, no plot twist, no hidden ace up their sleeve. You see, this isn't a fairy tale. This isn't some grand redemption arc where the villain suddenly gets to rewrite their sins and walk away unscathed. No, no. This is justice. The kind they never saw coming. The kind that doesn't knock politely at the door. It kicks it down and sets fire to the whole house. And the best part? You don't even have to lift a finger. That's right. No revenge, no retaliation, no need for some grand, dramatic showdown. No, they did this to themselves. That's the real punchline. All you had to do was step back and watch the dominoes fall. And oh, how they fell, one by one. The lies, the betrayals, the manipulations, crumbling, toppling, crashing into oblivion. And you stand amidst the wreckage, not as a victim, not as a pawn, but as the one who let it all happen. Because you knew, didn't you? You knew all along. You saw through the facade, through the smug grins and rehearsed performances. You let them think they had outplayed you, let them think they were the ones in control, all while leading them straight into their own downfall. And now they're staring at you, wide-eyed, stupefied, mouths open, hands trembling, realizing you won. No, not just won, destroyed them. And the best part? They can't even be angry at you. Because deep down, they know they did this to themselves. So, what happens next? Well, that's the fun part. See, there's something truly exquisite about watching someone who once held all the power, suddenly powerless. The way the confidence drains from their face, the way their voice quivers, their hands shake, their minds race for an answer that isn't there. They search for an escape, a loophole, a way to undo what's already been done. But there is none, because the game is over, and you just played your final card. Now, as the dust settles, as the silence stretches, as they realize the magnitude of their own failure, you turn your back. Not in arrogance, not in cruelty, but in something far, far worse. Indifference. You don't gloat. You don't need to. You don't linger to watch them drown in the aftermath of their own mistakes, because you've already won, because you've already moved on. And them, they're left behind, stuck in the ruins of their own deception, choking on the ashes of their own arrogance, staring at the empty space where their power used to be. And that is worse than any revenge you could have ever planned. But you're not done just yet, are you? Oh no, there's still one last step, one final move, one last chapter before the book is closed for good. And when you make that move, when you take that last step, when you seal their fate for eternity, well, let's just say, there's no coming back from this one. And now comes the moment that truly breaks them. Because losing? Oh, losing is bearable. Losing is something they can explain away, something they can twist into a lesson, a minor setback, a temporary defeat. But what happens when they don't just lose, but cease to matter? When their name, their power, their influence, the very identity they crafted so carefully, becomes irrelevant? That's the final blow, isn't it? Not just being beaten, but erased, reduced to a whisper, a footnote in someone else's victory, a cautionary tale without an audience, a fading echo swallowed by the tide of time. They thought they were untouchable, immune to consequences, protected by layers of deceit. But when the mask slips, when the truth is all that remains, oh, the terror in their eyes, the way they stumble, desperately reaching for the power that once flowed so easily through their fingertips. But it's gone now, slipped away like sand through an open palm, never to return. And no matter how hard they scream, how much they beg, how violently they resist, there's one reality they cannot change. You finish them. Not with a grand spectacle, not with fire and fury, but with something far more damning, neglect. They fought for control, for dominance, for the illusion of permanence. But in the end, they are left with nothing. No war to wage, no throne to reclaim, no relevance to cling to. There is no redemption, no bargaining chip left to play, because they built their empire on deception, and when the illusion shattered, so did everything they once held dear. Every bridge they burned, every enemy they made, every debt they never paid. It all comes rushing in, drowning them in the very chaos they thought they controlled. And you don't even have to watch, because their suffering isn't for your entertainment. It's simply the inevitable conclusion of a story they wrote with their own arrogance, a prophecy fulfilled by their own hands, an ending sealed long before they even realized the game had changed. The world moves on, indifferent to their downfall, because in truth, they were never the foundation, never the cornerstone, just a shadow pretending to be a monument. The silence that follows is deafening. The absence of their presence is louder than their most thunderous declarations. And the realization creeps in, slow and merciless. No one cares anymore. Their downfall isn't a spectacle. It isn't met with gasps or horror or desperate attempts to save them. No, it's met with indifference. They scream, but no one listens. They demand, but no one obeys. They reach out, but no one extends a hand. The world does not miss them. The world does not need them. And that is the wound that never heals. And that is what breaks them. Not the loss of wealth or power or control, but the loss of relevance, the slow, agonizing fade into nothingness. Because when people fear you, at least you exist. When they hate you, at least they acknowledge you. But when they stop thinking about you altogether, when your name is spoken in past tense, in hushed voices, in stories of what used to be, that is the cruelest fate of all. A ghost in their own world, an afterthought in a game that no longer includes them. The final punishment is not destruction, it is being forgotten. And you don't look back, because this isn't about revenge. It never was. It's about freedom. The moment where their shadow no longer looms over you, where their influence no longer dictates your steps. You walk forward, leaving them behind, not out of spite, but because they simply don't matter anymore. They are relics of a time that no longer exists, remnants of a history rewritten by those who endured, outlasted, and ascended. But there's one last move to make. One final twist in the tale. Because while their defeat is sealed, there's something even more poetic than their downfall, your rise. And that's what they never accounted for. They assumed their loss would be the worst part of the story. But the true pain, the true suffering, it's watching you ascend to heights they never could. Standing in a place they once thought was reserved only for them. To see you take the power they squandered, to see you shape the world they failed to rule, that is the torment they will never escape, the nightmare they wake up to every day, the reality they can never rewrite. Oh, but this isn't over yet. No. The final act is still to come. And when it does, there will be no escape, no redemption arc, no second chances, no rewrite of fate. Just the cold, unyielding truth. They were temporary, and you are inevitable. They watch in silence, frozen by the horror of it all. Because this isn't supposed to happen. In their world, the powerful stay powerful. The rulers never fall. And yet here they are, forgotten, left to rot in the ruins of their own making. Their influence turned to ash, their names reduced to whispers of mockery. They thought they were kings, untouchable, eternal. But now they're ghosts, haunting a throne that no longer exists. A kingdom without subjects, a legacy without believers. A story no longer worth telling. And the worst part? No one mourns them. No one fights for their return. Their absence isn't met with sadness or longing. It's met with relief. The world moves forward without them. And in doing so, it delivers the harshest punishment of all, proving that they were never needed in the first place, that they were never as indispensable as they pretended to be, that the machine kept turning without them, and the world is better off for it. But you are not just moving forward, you are ascending. Their loss is not just your victory, it is your beginning, because where they fell, you rise. Where they crumbled, you build. And in the space they once occupied, a new force emerges. One they cannot stop, cannot undermine, cannot erase. Because the truth is, their story ends here. But yours is just beginning. They sit in the wreckage, staring at the ruins of everything they once controlled, powerless, forgotten. The world moves on, unbothered by their absence. There was a time when their word could shape destinies, when their presence commanded obedience, when fear was their greatest weapon. But now they are relics of a past no one cares to remember. The whispers of their name carry no weight. Their threats fall on deaf ears. And that realization, that is what truly destroys them. Because they were never afraid of losing. It was irrelevance that they feared most. And now, that fear has become their reality. You don't need to watch them crumble. Their suffering is not your burden. You have walked beyond the battlefield, past the smoldering ruins of their empire, into a future where they no longer exist. Their demise was not your goal. It was merely a side effect of your rise. You were never meant to be their pawn, never destined to be crushed beneath their feet. They wrote a story where you would fade into oblivion, but the ink has dried on a different ending, one where they are nothing more than an afterthought in the tale of your triumph. They grasp for control, desperate to claw their way back into relevance. They try to spin the narrative, to paint themselves as victims, to weave new illusions, but no one listens. The audience has left. The stage is empty, and the applause, that belongs to someone else now, to you, the one who survived, the one who thrived, the one who rose above them not out of vengeance, but because they were never worthy of the throne they sat upon. It haunts them, the sight of you ascending while they wither away, because this wasn't supposed to happen. In their world, they were the kings, the gatekeepers, the ones who decided who would rise and who would fall. But they never imagined a world where their control would be shattered, where their names would be spoken only in hushed ridicule, where the very people who once bowed to them would step over them without a second thought. This is their nightmare, unfolding before their eyes, and there is no waking from it. But you don't just walk away, you rise. Higher than they ever dreamed, stronger than they ever feared, because their downfall was never the climax of this story. It was only the prologue to yours. They thought they were the final chapter, but they were only a footnote. The true masterpiece is what comes next, and as you ascend, their voices fade. Their protests become whispers lost in the wind. Their existence reduced to nothing more than a cautionary tale of arrogance and downfall. You were never meant to stay in their shadow. You were never meant to be controlled, suppressed, broken. Every step they took to keep you beneath them only pushed you further toward the edge until you found your wings. And now, as you soar beyond their reach, they can do nothing but watch in horror. Because for the first time in their lives, they are powerless. Powerless to stop you. Powerless to rewrite the narrative. Powerless to escape the fate they carved for themselves. And what a cruel fate it is. Not death, not destruction, but irrelevance. To exist, yet not matter. To scream, yet not be heard. To reach for power and grasp only emptiness. Their worst nightmare realized. And the best part? You never had to lift a finger. The truth alone was enough to undo them. Their own arrogance was their undoing. They built a kingdom on deception. And when the light of truth touched it, it crumbled to dust. You stand at the precipice of something greater. Not just victory, not just success, but complete transcendence. You have outgrown them in every way. And while they rot in the wreckage of their past, you step forward into a future where their names hold no weight, where their existence holds no meaning. This was never about revenge. It was about liberation. And now you are free. They will try to crawl back, to regain what they lost, to rewrite history in their favor. But history has already moved past them. And you don't even have to push them away. They are ghosts now, haunting a past that no longer matters, clinging to a world that has long since forgotten them. And as you take your final step forward, leaving them in the past where they belong, there is no regret, no second guessing, no hesitation. Because the greatest punishment for those who thrived on power, control, and fear is to realize that they have become nothing at all. And so, with a quiet, knowing smile, you walk away. Because this story was never about them. It was always about you.